Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now. If you guys are able to listen me properly, as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please let me know. Hello everyone, I hope that I'm live right now. If you guys are able to listen to me properly, as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please let me know. Yes. Okay, thank you so much, guys. I'm still having a little bit of fever. Fever came back, so I'm still not all good. But I thought that yesterday as well I was not able to take up the session, so I should take it up today. Nevertheless, okay. Okay, so the project we are going to do in three phases. Okay, there are three phases to the project, not one. So the first phase that is today is to see how easy it is to create a simple machine learning model. Okay, nothing too difficult. We are not going to deal with any kind of data set or something like that. Just a simple machine learning algorithm that is going to predict a simple equation for us. Okay, simple, as simple as possible. Okay, bare bone structure. Once we complete that today, tomorrow we will see how to deploy that simple machine learning algorithm to the web. Okay, we'll create a small website. We'll have input fields right over there in which the user can input their stuff as well, and then we'll get the output from it as well. Okay, simple. We are going to whatever we are going to make today, a simple machine learning algorithm. Tomorrow we'll make a website for the same. And then the third part of the project will be to look at a data set based machine learning algorithm in which we are going to take up a data set from Kaggle, okay, and we are going to create a machine learning algorithm surrounding that. Will that be fine, guys? Please let me know. That will be fine, right? So three stages of the project are there. So don't think today's project is like, array, how simple the project is, how easy the project is. Don't take it like that. Take it. Today's project is simple, is easy because it has been intended to do. Take it. So let's get started with today's session. What do you say? Okay. Now, to help us, there are a lot of different tools. So why do we use Python for doing machine learning or doing deep learning? Okay, it is usually for prototyping. Okay, this is not usually used in production. It is used to prototype because it is easier to code in Python. Python has a huge community around it, and because I'm so sorry. And because of that community, a lot of tools are available to you guys so that you guys are easily able to use it. Okay? So let's get started with that. I'll introduce you guys to new topics right over there. You guys should be able to see my screen right now. Yes? So for coding, we are going to use an online code editor. Okay, we are going to use Colab, Colab, Colab. Okay? And so Colab is an online coding platform, guys. Colab, Colab. It is made by Google. So basically, when you're doing machine learning or deep learning, You need a good CPU or a good GPU to actually run this. Now, not everybody has that. So Google has provided an online free platform that is Colab to help you write and run your machine learning and deep learning code. Now let's create a new notebook right over here. I'll show you guys how it looks like inside as well. Take out the live chat as well. Okay. So right over here, guys, as you online compilers are safe to use or not, this is made by a collab. Take it, that is Google. So you don't have to worry. It is very safe. So what happens? It is actually much more safer than using an offline code editor or something like that. Reason being key, when you are using an online code compiler, you are writing your code on a website, and that code is sent to someone's else computer, run right over there, and just the results are sent back to you. So due to that reason, your computer remains safe. I have already lost two laptops due to running the code on my own computer, because in machine learning and deep learning, sometimes your code will be running continuously for like 42 hours or 72 hours or something like that. For 2 to 3 days, it will be running continuously on your computer. Now, because these are a very high intensive calculative jobs for your computer, in many reasons, your motherboard can be burned completely. So that is the reason why I usually prefer to use online code compilers rather than like Colab or like Kaggle, rather than running the code on my own computer. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to get is some of the libraries from Python, guys. Now, what are these libraries? So libraries are like a proper library in your real life. Okay. You are having different books in the library, right? And each of these books help you do something. For example, there will be a book on how to play guitar, there will be a book on how to write, there will be a book on something, and so on and so forth. In the exact same manner, for you to do something, okay, inside of Python, the community came together and created libraries for certain topics. For example, I want to deal with number based data. Okay, there's a lot of calculations, there's a lot of numbers. I want to multiply different matrices. You know, matrices, matrix multiplication. Do you guys remember matrix multiplication? I think so. You guys must have learned about in school days. Do you guys remember maths metha, matrix multiplication? Do you guys remember that? Yes. So for matrix multiplication and everything, there are certain formulas, there are certain optimizations. Okay, so somebody came together and created a library called as Numpy that is basically able to handle your matrix related problems and mathematic related problems very easily. Okay, number based things it is able to handle for you, and this library Numpy will then contain a lot of different tools inside of it that you can leverage to actually deal with these. So you want to multiply a particular matrix, you want to do a calculation really very fast, so it already exists inside of Numpy. Okay, so the first particular library that we are going to use is going to be called as Numpy, so that we are able to deal with these numbers and matrices very easily. Now, how to get that particular library? You start by writing import. Okay, you want to import the library. Which library do you want to import? So NumPy. Now, I don't want to write NumPy again and again whenever I want to use a tool inside of it. So, for example, there might be a particular tool inside of it. So, I will have to write NumPy dot and then the name of the tool. Now, I don't want to write NumPy again because it's a pretty big word. So, I'm going to give it a nickname. I'm going to give it a nickname right over there. So, I'm going to call it as NP. So, instead of writing it as NumPy again and again and again, I can just call it as NP. Okay. Another similar library right over there has been made to handle data very easily. Now, again, because you are dealing with machine learning, deep learning, there will be a lot of data inside of it. And these data sets that are going to come through your way are going to be of various different types, various different sizes. So a particular data structure has been created that is able to handle this table-based data very well inside of Python. Okay, so you want to delete a column, or you want to access a row, you want to change something inside of the entire data set itself. So this data based table based manipulation, right, that is easily handled by something called as pandas. Okay, something called as pandas. So pandas is another library inside of Python. So import pandas as PD. Similar, I don't want to write pandas again and again, so I'm going to call it as PD right over there. You can call it as anything, but this is the normal convention that goes around. The next thing that is going to be there is going to be a library called as Sklearn. Sklearn is a particular library that provides you with all the tools that are necessary for you to do simple machine learning algorithms, to create, train, and predict using simple machine learning algorithms. That all the tools related to this is basically provided to you guys using Sklearn. Okay, Sklearn, guys. So right over here, guys, let's do that. So import. Now Sklearn is a pretty huge library. I don't want to use everything from inside of it. So I'm going to just import some of its tools so that I don't want the entire library with me. Okay. So Sklearn. Now that is the name of the library. Now I want to get, okay, I want to get a particular tool out of it that is called as model selection. Okay, one of the tools inside of it, one of the books inside of this particular library is called as model selection, guys. So dot model underscore SELECTION selection. Now from this particular book, I don't want the entire book as well. Model selection also has a lot of different tools inside of that as well. I want a particular tool that is called as train test split. Okay, import, sorry, I'm very sorry, from cylinder model selection, import train test split. What do you think this train test split actually does, guys? I think so this should be very easy for you guys to tell me, right? What does this train test split do? Think about it. The name itself tells us the answer. Think about it. I'll get some water for myself. The train test split, if you guys remember, is basically that professor that tore the book into two separate halves. One was the training half, if you remember the digest, right? The training half, and the other one was the testing half, guys. The other one was the testing half, right? So that is what your train test split is. The next thing that we want from our particular Sklearn is our model. Okay, we are going to use a very simple model that is called as linear regression model. Okay, so we need that model, that machine learning model from Sklearn. So you don't even have to create your machine learning models. It is already created. It is already provided to you guys. You just have to use it as tools. Okay, so you are having from Sklearn dot linear model import linear regression. Regression. I hope so that I have not made any kind of errors in the spelling mistake. Okay. Any doubts up till this point of time? So what is this linear regression? It is very simple, guys. It is basically y is equals to mx plus c. You guys remember y is equals to mx plus c, guys? Linear regression, y is equals to mx plus c. You guys remember that? What is y is equals to mx plus c? Equation of a straight line. Yes. So if you are having two data, x values and y values, okay, let's try to understand this. If you are having two values, that is x, where is my pen, x values and y values, and if you try to represent that data on a particular graph, you are able to see something like this coming up right over there. Then a particular line, that the best fit line, an equation of y is equals to mx plus c, so that the particular line best represents all these data points. Okay, a straight line that best represents all these data points, that is the aim of linear regression. A best fit line, what can be a best fit line? That basically gives me the prediction. So for example, for the values of x right now, whatever point is there on the line, that will be the predicted value, that will be your prediction, whereas the real white dots are your real answers. Okay, so this particular line is what we get from the linear regression model. Okay, the predictions according to the data, it will learn from the data, it will try to find the best fit line for the data, and that is basically what it does. Okay, are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Okay, we'll go back. Now we'll create our fake data, guys. We'll create our very fake data. Okay. So data is equals to, we'll create a pandas data frame. Okay, we'll create a pandas data frame, guys. If you guys remember, any kind of table based data, if you want to contain it, you contain it inside of a pandas data frame. This is how you create a pandas data frame. For example, I want to have two columns right over there, called as x and y, and I want to have some data under x and y. That is all that I want to do. Simple, nothing too complicated about it, right? I want to have two columns, x and y, and I want to have some data under it. Okay, so I'll just put up the parenthesis, so a particular curly braces, sorry, a particular rounded braces, and then a curly braces right over there. Then you put up the particular x first. X, okay, that is the name of our column, and this is going to contain our particular values. Okay, these values are going to be 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 point 3 comma 6 comma 7.5 comma 8 comma 9 comma 10. So I've used both normal numbers, normal integers, as well as oh Nishit, I'm so sorry, I've been still ill, man. I'm still ill. I'll do that as soon as possible. Okay, once I'm free a little bit, I'll definitely do that. Okay, so right over here, guys, as you're able to see, I have created the x column. Now the time for y column. I'll just put up a comma after this. I'll go to the next line. I'll put up the particular y column, y, again the colon, then again I'm going to put up the values for the y column itself. Okay, so my equation is actually pretty simple. I'm just going to do whatever number is in x, y is 2x. Okay, whatever value is in x, y will be 2x. According to that, I'm putting the number. So 2 comma 4 comma 6 comma 8 comma कितना हो गया ये 10.6, right? 10.6, then I'm having 12, then I'm having 15, then I'm having 16, then I'm having 18, then I'm having 20. Okay, so right over here, as you're able to see, I've created my input data by myself. That is the values of X and Y. Nothing too complicated about it, right? Nothing too complicated about it. Harshita, were you there from the start itself? Because, like, if you have come up right now, then of course you won't be able to understand. Now, what we want to do is we want to do the train test split, guys. That is what we want to do. We want to do the train test split. Now, to do the train test split, it is actually pretty simple. Okay, you do the X train, comma X test, comma Y train. These are data. These are variables that I'm creating, guys. Variables are going to contain your training data set and testing data set itself. Okay, is equals to, then we're going to use the train test split. Here the train test split is then going to take up our input data. ठीक है कि भाई, where is your input data, which data do you want to divide into the X train and the Y train, ठीक है, or the X test and the Y test. So how are you going to do that? So you need to provide with the X and the Y data first, ठीक है. So data, that is the name of our data. If you guys remember, the data frame that we have created is called as data right over here. So data, and then inside of data we want the X, that is our X data set, and inside of data we want to get the Y, that is our Y column itself, Y data set itself. And then we have to mention the the split ratio. Okay, test split, how much percentage of the total data do you want to transfer into the testing. Usually this number should be between 15 to 20%. We're going to take up 20% because 15% नहीं हो पाएगा यहाँ पे, ठीक है. So test size, okay, we are going to put it up as 0.2, that is 20%. Test size, we are going to put it up as 0.2, that is 20% right over there. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. So what this is going to do for us, what this is going to do for us is that it is going to take in the input data, that is the X and the Y, okay, and it is going to split it into 80% and 20% with the training and the testing data, in which we are having our X data and Y data as well. Okay. Okay. 20%, guys, 20%. So right over here, guys, what we do is we are going to create a particular model. Okay. So MODEL model is equals to linear regression. And we are going to put, so model is equals to linear regression creates an empty model for you guys. It creates an empty model for you guys. And then model.fit will add the data that you wanted to be trained in. Okay. The particular data that you want to be trained in, that is going to be put up using model.fit. Okay. So linear regression creates an empty model, and then you are having this model.fit that is able to fit in your training data, so that it is able to train, the model is able to train on your data itself. Once you do that, we are going to call this as REG, regression model. Okay. Or if you don't want to call it as anything, it's fine as well. I usually call it as regression model, but it's fine. Then y.predict. Okay, you are going to predict something right over here. So model.predict. So your model that is there, now you can use it to predict. Now on what you're going to predict, so X test. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to print y_pred, and I'm going to print y test as well to see what we were able to predict and what was the actual values. Okay, so we'll run this. So it is going to take us some 2 to 3 minutes to run this, guys. Let's just wait for the same. Why was it not able to print the entire value? Let me just print y pred first. Okay, yes. So ypred basically has is taking a values from x test itself, right? X test only has two values inside of it. That is going to be the last two values, or any random values can also be there. So 12 and 6 is what it is predicting as the values. If we check what are the real values as well, so let's check what are the real values. Then you are able to see that we are getting two values right over here. So it is not as accurate as possible, right? Because if you see your y pred, right, your y pred is coming up to be 18 and 20, whereas if you see your y test print y test right over here, then the values is coming up to be 18 and 20. So yeah, so y test is also coming up to be 18 and 20, and your predicted values are also coming up to be 18 and 20. This is pretty rare that both of them coincide. Now this is a very easy particular model because x is equals to so y is equals to 2x. It's a very easy model. But usually what happens is that in most of the cases, because your data is so low, your data is very small, your model is not that great. Linear regression model is one of the, it is called as the simple models of machine learning, right? So due to that very reason, there might be a scenario where you are not able to get an accurate readings. But yes, here for our case, we are able to get it. 18 and 20, 18 and 20 are predicted values, as well as our testing values are coming up to be the same. Our predicted values, this is the predictions, right? This is the predictions that our model is doing on the basis of X test. The two values, 20% of our data set that we kept separate for testing our model, right? That is our X test. And our predicted, our Y pred is basically predicting what our model is trying to predict, what is going to be the answer to X test. Okay. And this Y test is the real answer. Our real answer and our predicted answers are matching. That is a rare case again, but it's great. Okay. Tomorrow we are going to try to convert this into a web app. Okay, into a website itself. Okay, so we'll see how that is also done. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know. Yes. Okay, I'll give you guys the attendance link right now. So what about X test? X test is your input data, right? You are giving an input that is X test to get an output that is Y pred. So your model takes in an input that is X test and gives you an output that is your Y pred, right? Prediction. किसी चीज पे तो प्रिडिक्ट करोगे ना यार, ऐसा अंधा थोड़ी प्रिडिक्ट कर दोगे, कुछ इनपुट चाहिए उधर. तो द एक्स टेस्ट इज योर इनपुट. ठीक है. See, if you are making any kind of smallest of the errors, like a comma or a particular bracket missing or something like that, it is not going to work. Even a small spelling mistake, capital small letter, everything you will have to take care of it. Okay. Okay, the attendance link is in the live chat, guys. You guys can start filling up your attendance. We'll meet tomorrow and we'll continue from right over there. Okay. In the meanwhile, I'll just scroll through the entirety of the code. If somebody wants to see it, they can. Okay. This is a YouTube video, so it will be available to you guys later on as well. You don't have to worry about that. So I'm just going to scroll through the entire thing. What are we trying to predict? Which problem are we trying to solve? The problem is very simple. You are having a particular equation, that is x values are given and y values are given. You want to create a model that is able to predict the same pattern that is there in the data. So based on x, there is some value of y that is being generated. That is the data that has been provided to you. You are creating a model that is able to generate the same pattern, that any value of x that you give, it generates the value of y for you. Okay. Okay, so I've just gone through the entire code once again as well. Okay. How to download Pandas and Sklearn? You don't have to download Pandas and Sklearn. You can just import them. It comes inbuilt with Python itself. So thank you so much, guys. We'll meet tomorrow and we'll continue from right over there. Thank you.